Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil, and what we're looking at is a little bit of correction when it comes to the benchmark indices. So as you can see, the Nifty's gone back down by another 100 points, and it's at around 10,656. What we've seen is gains in just a handful of stocks on the Nifty 50. GAIL, Adani Ports, IndusInd Bank. In fact, if you leave out GAIL and Adani Ports, the rest of them are advancing by less than 1%. On the losing end, however, you do have Yes Bank, Hindalco, Indiabulls Housing Finance. Well, a lot of weakness coming in some of the relatively heavier market cap names such as Tata Steel and Vedanta as well. Well, we do have some weakness coming through, there's no doubt about that. And when it comes to the broader markets, only one gainer for 4 losers on the NSE 500. We do have the likes of ITI and Dredging Corp standing out, along with V-Mart Retail and Indoco Remedies. And Page Industries making a little bit of a comeback here. On the losing end, Jindal Stainless, Minda Industries, G1 Financial, Blue Star, Max India, a lot of them which were advancing yesterday are losing out in trade today. But let's bring in our markets editor Neeraj Shah for his perspective here. Neeraj, well, a step forward, a step backward.
I'm living it by the day, I guess.
Right.
To be honest. But yeah, I mean, difficult to quite figure. I mean, but for the fact that the world markets were down, and when the Nasdaq is down 3%, the Dow about 1.5% in trade, overnight trade, and today European markets were soft too. I think there's some bit of uncertainty in the world markets ahead of the G20 summit. The commentary from the world leaders hasn't been the greatest thus far in the build-up. You've seen what Mike Pence had to say over the weekend as well, and how the APEC couldn't reach a decision. So maybe that uncertainty would continue to weigh in on the world markets, and maybe that continues to impact our markets. I mean, you and I both know we're not at 10,000 anymore.
Right.
10,800. Yes. Maybe some of these things could vary. So I'm guessing that's probably the only reason, because otherwise, I mean, crude down, the currency strengthening, the macros are in our favor, and maybe that's why we are not at 10,000 but 10,650. But I reckon there could be chances of some uncertainty in the run-up to that. Mind you, the ETF flows have been okay. The world flows have been okay for our markets. I'm guessing it's got to do with this global uncertainty and some bit of profit booking ahead of that. Let's wait and watch.
All right, well, we'll have to wait and watch.
I don't know how the F&O picture is looked, to be honest.
No, we haven't seen too much. Yes, the volumes are low and we aren't seeing too much. There is consolidation around the 10,600 mark, and the range has become narrow as we approach the expiry next week. So again, we're going to have to wait for a few more days before we can perhaps get a trend about where the expiry is heading. But for now, it is absolutely quiet from that end as well. But Neeraj, once again, thank you for getting us that perspective here. But moving on now, let's address a bunch of stocks. In this case, let's start off with GAIL India, because that, as you can see, is one of the few gainers in today's day of trade. And we have Yatin Mota, who's joining us to give us an update on the same. So Yatin, what do you have for us?
Well, a big upgrade coming in from Goldman Sachs as far as GAIL is concerned, and we have Goldman, which has not only increased the target price to a level of 490 from 260, but they also, from a neutral rating, have gone for a buy rating. So both target price and ratings have seen substantial changes. This comes on the back of Goldman Sachs' assumption that they would be looking at the stock from the oil and gas coverage, wherein the earnings growth could be substantial. In fact, they are confident that the pricing in the core transmission business could improve. They may have the highest growth among gas coverage that they have currently, and they assign a 4.5 times EV/EBITDA multiple to the transmission business, and say that GAIL could be the beneficiary of the $40 billion investments by multiplayers in the gas segment, and of course the gas demand in general also improving. So GAIL could be one of the key beneficiaries, and on the back of that upgrade, we have the stock of GAIL, which was in action today.
Okay, there you have it. Yes, and thank you for joining us and getting us those updates on GAIL. But we also have a bunch of stocks which were moving quite substantially in trade. And we have Sharad Dubey, who's here to give us that list. Sharad, what are you tracking today's job trade?
So today I was actually tracking ITI, which has actually gone up by almost 13%. So this has actually seen a highest single day gain since August 30. Even Vagam, if you see, the volumes have increased 10 times the 20-day moving average. So basically there was a news of Press Information Bureau in which 3 state-owned telecom companies would actually have to purchase 30% of equipments from the company. The second stock which I have been tracking is your Forbes company, which is up by almost 10%. So basically Shapurji Palonji's Diversion will happen of around $1 billion for its solar arm. Apart from this, Eureka Forbes, if you know, is also a part of this water purification unit of this company. The third stock which I have been following is DHFL. So basically they will be announcing their results tomorrow. So they have already, for the past 5 days, they have been on a losing streak. So basically the key things to watch out for will be the commercial paper redemptions and securitizations. Even the rating agencies remain cautious.
Well, thanks for that, Sharad. Of course, a bunch of stocks out there that you can watch out for as we move into tomorrow as well. But on the whole, you know, as we have been speaking about, it's been a fairly quiet day of trade, not too much to speak for, and we certainly have seen that correction come through on the benchmark indices as well. But we look forward to tomorrow's trading session. With that, it's a wrap on the markets, but lots more lined up, so stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.